One super small thing that you should be able to do is you should be able to jump up the awning while still looking towards the other team. And this will let you be aware of if their demo is going to try to shoot you with stickies as you come up. Because pre-firing this little corner here as the scout jumps up the awning is a really common thing that demos will do. That meant nothing really aggressed you that you could shoot at. The only thing you could have done is try to avoid taking damage better. Just, you know, be more aware of the stickies that were on the ground and not eat them. And have better movement to not get shot by the soldier. This is a very bad gun spot. This gun can get spammed from main and from river. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. This gun's probably going to go down before they pop. A better spot for a gun is over in that corner, or in that staircase, or over here. If you put the gun right around here, in this general area, just past that pillar, then soldiers can't come from river and spam it. They have to come like into the balcony or peek through shutter, which is easily locked down by the rest of your team.
Time has been added.
But yeah, that gun's most likely going to get spammed out before doing anything. Never mind, they didn't even peek in the last before popping, and they dropped the scout, so good for you. Oh, there goes the double soldier spam. So you get on heavy. You guys probably could have tried to push out off the one pick and the fact that you would have had Uberat on them. But I guess you weren't building very well at all. You should have much more Uberat than this. This is a bad spot to stand on heavy. Dear God, that was annoying. You want to don't stand over here in this area, especially on this platform here. Like, this is one of the worst spots to stand on Gully Wash Last. If you're over there on heavy, then you can get healed. You can protect your medic from bombers easier, and you're a lot harder to do damage to. You can also play in secret, which is less good than up top there, but it's better than over here. If you play in secret, then you have a chance to kill somebody as they go into point by surprising them. I guess something was called is in water, that scout. Typically, as a general rule of thumb, it's a little different since you're on heavy, but if somebody goes into water on Gully Wash Last, you don't want to follow them down there. You want to you just go onto the point and wait there, because if you go down there, then they have the corner advantage on you, whereas if you wait on point, they have to come into you, and you have the corner advantage on them. They have to push into you instead of you having to push into them. Again, this is really bad to sit there. Sitting on this particular... There you go, you see that exactly. The soldiers can easily spam you. You can't do anything to them, and they could just dump damage onto you. So, yeah, that's a bad spot to stand. Yeah, that's not surprising. Your team had kind of an ill-fated push at a last there. You waited too long to go. But, yeah, you being in that spot basically ensured that you die. If you were on the left, they would have had to have taken longer to get to you. So that mid was weird. You guys went big door and you went up your side. So I don't know if your team didn't go the way they called or if you went the opposite way, but that was a weird mid. At the end of it, when this soldier was in elbow, he's doing nothing here. Your team knew about him, and he's not doing anything. But by pushing him in here, where it's so enclosed in here, you gave him a chance to kill you. And if he had a little bit more HP, he would have been able to probably kill you as you came into the door. So yeah, there's no reason to push him in there. Your explosive classes can kill him much easier than you can. And he's not doing anything by being in there. So again, you should be building this last little bit of Uber because you're only at 75 here. You want to build the rest of this so you can get to 100 and then go on the dot with it. They're building really fast. That's... Yeah, they're just building much better than you. You should already be going. Like, there's no reason to... Yeah. Okay, so after you killed that soldier, they had the rest of them backing up into spawn, and you had no ammo loaded in your scattergun, and you had a full buff, and then you dropped down and tried to get a point, and there was a soldier there. If you stayed up top right, if you stayed up here, your soldier could have easily gotten this guy off point, and you would have been able to, you know, get on the demo from to the left side. But as it is, you live somehow with 1 HP. Yeah, I mean the rest of your team did a lot there, but you definitely should have died. You got lucky not to, and you would have been a lot more useful if you just reloaded a few scattergun shots and then got on the demo on the left instead of dropping right down the point there with the soldier on it. If the soldier wasn't there, then it'd be fine, but there were still kills to be had outside of that. So you've been doing this thing where you were like looking forward here, and then you jump backwards, and then you turned around to look this way to jump. You need to just jump without looking backwards. Like, you need to just be able to move around the map without having to move your camera. I think this is an ill-fated flank. I think that you were winning the mid super hard. All you had to do was just go across the point into them with the rest of your team. Yeah, it's 3v3 now. And your medic's dying. If you just stayed on point there, you didn't drop down and go into elbow, you would have been with your medic, you would have been getting healed, and he wouldn't have been alone at the end of the fight. You would have had more HP, and it probably would have went a little bit better for you. Again, the worst gun spot, other than just like putting it in river, maybe like would be worse, but this is probably the worst gun spot you could use. I'm gonna trust that you're gonna learn from your mistakes after this gets spammed down again, and then put it somewhere else, hopefully. Your team is building horribly. Like, really badly. That's definitely one thing that will help you a lot more, or have a lot more success, is to build better. You could have had Uber easily if you were just building, and they're not going to push off their ad, I guess. Well, they probably didn't know because you're building badly, but... Yeah, it took too long to get Uber there. Again, right here, this is such a bad fight to take, standing on that spot specifically, and shooting into river. If you're down here, or like in front of river even, it's better, but this is, like, let's go to the demo's point of view, and watch him for 1 second. Now, of course, he isn't going to peek it anymore. Whatever. But it's just an easy angle for him to shoot down. And you have nowhere to go except, like, back where you can't see them. But if you're on the floor, they just can't shoot you as easily. You can move out of the way. What the fuck is your sniper doing? He just walks in the lobby and headshots a scout and then keeps running forward. Like, you gotta pick. You could have done something off of it, but... Okay, now they're 2 dead. They just got 1 spawn. You guys should definitely be trying to move forward. Your job here is, if you're not going to be getting Ubered, you should be watching the flank. But it looks like you guys aren't going in at all. This should be much better for you here, because... Okay, your medic drops, everybody. Yeah, your medic needed to not drop the demo. And you. That would have made it... If you guys didn't get dropped there, you're in your demo, you probably would have wiped their team because their Uber was so much worse than yours. But instead, your medic drops you and then overextends and dies. Now they're probably going to win this push. No, wait. Their med died too. I wasn't paying attention, I guess. This is good getting on cap instead of trying to fight that demo. A lot of people would have went to fight the demo, but it's much better to cap here. You guys build so badly. The other team's like just gaining add on you as time goes on because they're actually building.
The control point is being contested.
Like it went from like 10 add, now it's at like 20. What the hell did your flank do? Did they get pushed or did they run in? You shot me out of my MG. Okay, well your team's throwing. The second you went 2 down, you should have been running away as fast as you can. This took too long. They're in now, yeah. If you just left the second you went 2 down, you would have lived. Or at least you would have got out of top. You might have stayed in and died still, but it would have been better than that. Like your flank just fed into mid and then they pushed you. Anytime you're 2 down, you want to be backing up typically. Unless they're also 2 down. Okay, so right here on this mid, you saw their whole team on the ground. So what you want to do now is pretty much what you did. You want to position yourself to stop people from climbing up. It's unfortunate you didn't kill that medic, but... Or that scout, not the medic. You don't need to chase this guy. Him dying doesn't even matter. Like, he's in and fighting. But whenever it's just that scout, there's one scout at the end of the mid. He's not really a worthwhile kill because he's going to be up before you cap and push. He actually stayed in so long and didn't die for a really long time, so he might not be up if you go like on the dot. But it looks like you guys are going to take your time. Yeah, you're just waiting. Okay, so these guys, the soldier was at full 300. You just saw him being tanked as you're pushing him. And the demo was on the ground by himself as you popped in. You should have immediately rushed the demo because these guys are going to head back into spawn. I'd be surprised if you kill any of them here. But we'll see. Yeah, they all get back into spawn, and then, yeah, you're dying because of that. Your medic didn't flash you again. So, just kill the demo there. You're probably still going to win the push. Just because full Uber ad, you get into the doors for free. But, yeah, you could have killed the demo instantly, and then those guys would have still backed up in the spawn, and then you could have just got on the point, and your demo would have been sticking it. Oh, I lost you. Okay. So yeah, if you ever see a demo, like, alone, especially when you're Uber, just go straight on him. That was kind of unfortunate. You walked into that guy and got piped. He wasn't even really looking at you.
Control point is being contested.
Hey!
Control
You
point is
did
being
it.
captured.
Well, this is like better, but if you put it in this corner so it can't be spammed from main, then it doesn't block the point, but whenever they come in they have to focus it with their Uber afterwards, and it's harder to spam out than the ones you're putting before.
Has the control point.
But this is an improvement on the other gun spot. It's still probably going to get spammed. Yeah, here it is. If you put it in that corner, it wouldn't have gotten spammed as hard. Oh, this is the dream. Oh, man. The second you were on that platform where this scout is right now, and you saw their medic standing there, you should have ran forward, air blasting the medic away. And you could have really destroyed their Uber there. But instead, you didn't really do much. Died pretty quick. Your team still holds it, though. That's pretty good. You could have really denied their Uber, though.
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
I guess you're worried about the back cap. Really shouldn't have been, because it was just their medic up. Somebody already cleared water, and the rest of your team could see Big Door. But I guess better safe than sorry. Oh, what? Okay, your team pops for no reason, and then you drop a scout. You shouldn't even go in here, you should just be leaving. Yeah. Your team should have just been getting out the second that Uber was popped for no reason. I guess you wanted to get through the choke without dying the stickies or something. I don't know, that was really weird though. There's not really much you can do there when your team makes a mistake like that, to just pop through a door for no reason. If they're close, you can do that, but they were not close at all. There was no kills to be had. It's good to be paying attention enough to know that they're spawn camping and not run out of the stickies. A lot of people turn their brains off after they die and they don't listen to comms or think about anything. I don't know what you're doing here. This is just straight up feeding. There's nothing to be gained from rushing into their team like that. They have full Uber ad. You would have been much better served on anything other than that. Like, if you just stayed at last on scout, or you off-classed, or, you know, you just did anything except feed into their team like that. Even if you killed the scout, it's still not really worth it.
Alert. The control point is being captured. Alert. The control point is being captured.
There's not really much more you can do there except hit more shots on the soldier that's bombing, kill him faster. Right here, you guys should not be in lobby. You probably should have spawned an engineer and got a gun up. It's probably too late now, because they've already got second capped. Yeah, you don't have much time to build this gun. You realize it. Typically, when you have disadvantage and you're on your last, and you know they're going to be pushing in, you don't want to be in a committed spot on sniper like this. So, right now, if they came in through almost any doorway, except maybe shutter and nobody looked at you, you couldn't get back to spawn. So, you would most likely die on sniper. But if you were standing just like on that part right here, like on this section of the ground where it's metal inside the spawn, you could still be relatively out. Yeah, they do come in shutters so you don't die, but if they came in the river or anywhere else, you would have gotten just obliterated by one soldier looking at you. So yeah, if you sit there, you can get alpha sniper after they pop faster and safer. And then whenever they come in, you really can't come out on heavy. It takes too long to walk out to get out here. You had to come back up on scout. In that particular situation, you being on scout would not have made any difference at all. You guys were just, you're the only one up there. So it doesn't really matter, but it's just the principle of the thing. It's better to come up on scout. So, okay. That was a little questionable, shooting that soldier. He jumped on top of point while their demo was on your side. You should be shooting the things that are over in that corner before shooting that guy on top of point. Because the dude on top of point's just kind of sitting there. He's not really on you like the people on the left are. But they got sufficiently damaged coming up that left lane, that elbow area. Oh, they're definitely on crits now. Yeah, they're on crits. Okay, so that's like an easy last push. Right here, you don't need to fear those thickies. Like, you guys should just be walking into them right now. You have full Uber Ed. You don't need to shoot these. You should just be popping through. Especially after a det, you should just be going. Yeah, there's no reason to take this long. They get crits. You pop any. Yeah. So this is still going to be a successful push, unless you guys die to the crits after Uber. It's good to get on point here. Yeah, you played that pretty much perfectly after you went in. It took you a while to get in. You definitely should have went faster. Like when you have Uber ad like that, there's no reason to wait. You just give them more time to set up. So if the demo's there, you don't have to worry about the stickies. You just pop through and then kill the demo. So when you're chip shotting like this, especially on a mid fight, you don't want to use more than like 2 or 3 shots to chip shot when you're doing like 20 damage with the shots like you were. If you're walking into them, you keep shooting them, but if you're just like, if you're playing the distance like that, you really don't want to oh no, your medic died to the crits. So yeah, your guys' building habits is what made your medic die there, because he didn't have Uber. And you died there because of your insistence to look everywhere that you're going. Like, that may not seem like a big thing, but it's hurting you a lot, because, oh, you back capped, cool. So yeah, when you have to look everywhere that you go, you're not able to dodge damages effectively, because you can't see where the damage is coming from. But if you were seeing that rocket, like if you were looking at them, you would have just seen it and not died. You would have just not walked into it. But because you had to look where you were going, you died to it. But yeah, you don't want to expend more than half your clip on chip shots in case something like comes at you while you don't have ammo loaded. Again, you're just looking where you're going. You have your back turned to all of them, waiting for an arrow. Like, you don't need to look at your medic when you're getting arrowed. You just ask for an arrow and then wait. You got very lucky to not die there. You messed that up something fierce, but they didn't kill you.
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
Another thing on mid is that when the demo is like looking at you, you typically don't want to stand on this section of mid or the other side, like this little lip, because if the demo just puts his crosshair in the center of it and fires, you'll get hit by the pipe every time. It's like impossible to miss. Alright, you guys are still not expecting the crits after they've been on it for like 3 lives. You really should have been more ready for that, because they've just been on it. I hope your medic doesn't die to it again. You guys should definitely commit to last here.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
The rest of your team wasn't in. at the same time that you were. Maybe the demo was, but he was too hurt. I saw him at like 20 HP. But if the soldier had jumped onto point there whenever you were capping it, it probably would have went towards your team. What? What are you doing? Okay. So that was like the worst of both worlds, which is your teammate was, you had a spy who was back capping. He got it half capped and then died to a soldier. And then you could have also back capped, but instead of going underneath into wood and through main, you went up in the lobby and then shot them on second so they know you're behind, and then you're going to last to 1v1 this guy. This is a very winnable fight here. Let's see how you play it. Okay, so you could have very easily won that if instead of, once he fired this rocket here, you ran forward into them. If you just walked up the steps here and kept chip-shotting him and jumped on and off of these two things, like when he's on this part, he can't shoot the top of that, and he can't shoot the top of that either. So if you just jump back and forth, you can chip-shot him down until you do like 100 to him or more, and then you can run into his face and just eat the rocket and kill him. And they weren't capping at the time, so you had time to take that fight slowly. If you just did like four or five, like 30 damage chip shots to him, you would have been able to kill him. But instead you tried to run into him on the ground, like in an even fight. So again, you should be building here. No reason not to. You'll easily be able to kill whoever comes through choke before they come in. Like your demo's sitting there watching it. Good, now you start to build. Okay, so when you take the Zubrad in, what I want to see is... Oops, that's not the button I wanted to press. You should come in the choke, take it wide, like right where your soldier is, you should check this part of the wall. Then come through. God damn it, I keep pressing that button. Come through, check that part of the wall, check that. And then, since the demo's close here, you could just go, like, get through and kill him. Like, a demo pick is enough to Uber off of, in my opinion. Like, you see this guy here, you should just rush into him. Okay, that's what you do. You gotta get in, though. Yeah, you didn't get... You weren't quite fast enough. And the demo lives. He should have definitely died there, though. You waited until he was shooting you, and then he backed up, and then you popped in. If you went the second he was just in choke, you would have killed him. You guys keep popping through the choke. Like, you're popping, like... You're popping, like, way too early. Like, your medic was standing here when he popped. You want to be, like, up here before you have to pop. Like... You know there's no stickies there. You should be much closer to getting in before your medic has to pop. But you're just like popping before you're even in choke. You're using Uber. And it's completely unnecessary. So again, you guys have like 30 disad. And with how you've been building this whole game, it's probably going to lower to, or probably going to raise itself up to like 40. So it's good that you're getting up top. You want to be all the way up top, though. Like, you need to be up there where your medic is. You need to be up there with him. Okay, your sack goes in. So now you don't want to be on second anymore. You guys need to be out. Your demo's dead here. Yeah, your demo's dead. If they come through choke, yep, your demo's dead. That's his fault completely. You just need to be out now, like all the way back to last. The second your soldier died, that was your sack for trying to force them. You should have just been out. If you're building this whole time, you'd be at like 85 right now. You'd probably get Uber before they come in. You start building now. It's too late, though. Unless they take a long time to push, you're dead here. Yeah, they come in. You're not going to get Uber. Yeah. So if you just built, you would have had a much easier time. So yeah, the takeaways from that are you want to be able to move without having to look where you're going. You want to take Ubers more purposefully, and build better. Like,
Hey, Scout, calling here. Think you can handle this?
Let's get him.
just to show you what I'm talking about, like, when you would come in the mid, you would be like this. And you'd be looking down, too. I don't know if you're worried about something coming there, but when you get here, there's no possible way for anything to be there unless the soldier fast rolls out, and you'll see that anyway. But, like, when I... Like, that's how I would get up on mid. Like, when you do this, you want to be able to see the whole mid in front of you so that you can see if the demo's going to shoot a sticky there. The other demo didn't the whole game, but a better demo will. And then once you come here, you generally want to be, like, aware of where the soldiers are going to be bombing from. And you don't want to come across onto point until the mid's developed a little bit, because a lot of times you would come here, and there'd be, like, a soldier who would do, like, a jump from here onto their side, and you'd be here, like, shooting him, and then you'd take a whole shitload of damage and have to back up. And that would fuck you over a lot. You don't want to take damage early on mid as a scout. Like, you want to be the last one to die as a scout on mid. You want to be alive at the end of the fight so that you can clean up. And you don't want to take early damage so that your team can direct the heals elsewhere. Typically what I like to do is I'll come up here and I'll look for a soldier to bomb. And then once I know where both soldiers are, I'll come over here and I'll get on this fence. And I'll just kind of look and wait and see. You can play on these boxes. But if you're on these boxes, you got to watch out for soldiers shooting the wall behind you. If a soldier's on top of point, I don't even shoot at them because the demo has a much easier time of killing him. Like, a demo shooting him is, like, gonna do so much more damage so much more safely. So, like, a demo here could just, like, no charge, put, like, 80 damage stickies on his face. And what I was talking about with this is, like, if you're on that part right there, and a demo just shoots, it's impossible to dodge without jumping off. And typically, at that stage of a mid fight, if there's a scout alive, you don't want to make it easier for the scout to shoot you. And if you get across point, and the demo starts shooting at you like that, and you eat a pipe, then you're basically dead. That happened to you one time on mid where you were playing here, the demo's over there, and he fired a pipe, and then it hit you, and you were like right here, and you dropped down to 30 HP. And I think you died from it. I can't quite remember. But yeah, with the way those soldiers were playing, they were giving you a lot of room to work with on mid. Typically, soldiers are a lot more aggressive on Gully Wash mid, but you should have had a much easier time dealing with it. So yeah, the biggest thing that you got to work on is being able to look without, or being able to move somewhere without having to look at it. Like, that's really bad in general. And the gun spots. The gun spots I don't really rag on too much because that's just once you know it, you know it. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up.